In a rain booth at the Great American Outdoor Show, we ran across our friend Gabriella Hoffman. How are you, Gabby?
I'm well. How are you, Cam?
I am excellent. And this young gentleman, Boris Hoffman, Gabby's dad. It's good to see you, sir.
I'm here. I am glad to be here.
Well, it's great talking with you. And, I got to say, I've followed Gabby on social media for years and years, and I can't tell you the number of times that I've seen a post that's something like, my dad and I are going to go fishing this weekend. My dad and I are going to go, hiking this weekend. You two really seem to not only have that great father-daughter bond, but really a shared love of the outdoors.
Absolutely. That's what happens when you love your children and don't allow anybody to influence them except you.
There you go.
And I love outdoors. I've been fishing since I was 5 years old, and I used to make my own tackle in Evil Empire / Lithuania. So, you do what you do, and when you do it yourself, you love it and enjoy it more than anything else. And she was able to kind of take it off from me. She loves it.
Is this just something that you remember? Do you remember the first time you went out with your dad, or was it just something that you were too young to even remember?
I remember, he would take me back in Southern California to go fishing. At first I thought it was icky, like most little girls would think. And then I started to see results with fishing. And I was like, I like this. I'm going to get hooked on this. And when I was 12, I got really, really seriously into it when I caught a massive catfish. I don't think we have we were talking actually on the way here that I don't think we have the photo for it, but I remember the exact measurements, the size, the weight, all that. And, it was a great first memory. And ever since I've been hooked, and I made that transition, and I've talked about it on your show many times, from fishing to shooting sports, and now shooting sports to hunting. So I have the whole trifecta for the outdoors, and I love it. It keeps you sane, refreshes your mind, and helps you meet good people, and it's a great industry and activity, and activities to be a part of.
And one of the things I like about I like many things about you, Gabby, but one of the things that's so cool is that you live and work in the DC area, and yet clearly the outdoors is approachable to you. Is that something that you're trying to encourage other people who live in urban environments? It's not as difficult as you might think to be able to get out and enjoy the great outdoors.
Yeah, whatever platform I have, I want to be able to communicate to people that, yes, you can live in an urban area close to Washington, New York City, Atlanta, wherever, and be able to escape the heyday of city life or suburban life and enjoy the outdoors. And it's possible. And with 80% of people living in metropolitan areas now, how else are we going to reach those kinds of folks if we don't have outreach programs to them or show them that there are opportunities to fish or to hunt within not exactly city limits, but within reasonable distance to city limits? And I think it's possible, and a lot of people in the industry are talking about how do we reach out to people. There's our 3 initiatives, like as you are familiar with, and there are ways to reach out to city residents and young people who live in the cities, young professionals like myself. And I think people just have to not be afraid to do that. And I think we're starting to make those strides. In whatever way I can do that, I want to. And hopefully friends of mine and other young professionals can do the same too. It's so important.
That's awesome. And Boris, I've got to ask you, and I know that the one time I think that you and I spoke on Cam and Company before, I may have asked you a couple of questions about this, but you alluded to living in the Evil Empire.
Yep.
Where in the Soviet Union did you grow up?
I was privileged to grow up in Lithuania, which is occupied territory, one of the Baltic states, and the most tortured actually of all Baltic states. But when I was born in 1954, life wasn't bad. They weren't killing people on a mass scale like we used to, but still we had our limitations. You couldn't go to certain places, you couldn't do certain things, you couldn't get a fishing license if you don't know somebody in the industry. So I knew some people, so I got one, because if they catch you out of licensed fishing, you can go to jail. So it wasn't bad, but it all depends upon the family you grew up. If your parents love you, and our parents loved all 3 of us, they brought us up well, everybody was normal. Nobody became a serial killer or criminal, even though we had a very bad living condition, no bathrooms, 6 people in 2-room apartment. Nobody died. It all depends on what family you come from. Family is the most important thing. If you're raised well, regardless where you're raised up, you're going to be fine. And for people who are not happy with the United States of America, they've never been anywhere else. This is the best country in the world.
I was going to say, you may have grown up, and it's amazing to hear that positive attitude about, looking at your conditions growing up, but when you had the opportunity to move to the United States, you
jumped as soon as I could. It took me 6 years to get here, but I did. And we just celebrated 32 years out of Evil Empire last January.
Well, congratulations on 33 years here in freedom, and again, I hope that the father-daughter outdoor adventures continue for years and years to come.
We're getting him into hunting next, because I have
working on the hunting license.
Yeah. we're gonna get him some good creatures soon.
Hunting soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He has to catch up because I already have had 2 successful trips.
You're working.
To make a living.
Right?
I do too. I work, but I'm able to make time.
We'll let the family squabbling take place off microphone, but we do look forward to following both of you, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Gabriella Hoffman and her dad Boris joining us here on Cam and Company.